Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here for another love circle. And I am so excited about today's topic because we're going to talk about change. Why change is so hard? Why is it hard to create any kind of change? And I am going to use one of the easiest example, which pretty much every single one of us have experienced, and that is a relationship with food. When we are trying to create a change there, whether you're trying to eat healthier, better, whether you're trying to add some fats, take out some fats, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to gain weight, because that is something we all can relate to. And you can take those principles and you can apply them to other parts of your life, wherever you're trying to create change. So we are going to use the easiest example that one can relate with, so we can understand the principles to create change in our life. Let's first talk about why it is so hard to create change. And before we go any further, let's understand what is change. I'm just gonna check if my sound and everything is okay. Perfect. Change is when you're trying to create a different result. It's that simple. So let's say right now you have a result in your life. It could be, you know, not very good health. It could be not very good finances. It could be not very good relationships. It could be like, your feet don't look the way you want. Whatever you are looking at, that is a result. When you want a different result, when you say, you know what, I want my butts to look a little bit different, that is going to require a change. And then the whole thing that we're going to talk about comes in play. So whenever we are trying to change result, that is considered change. Now, that applies, like, one of the laws of the universe, cause and effect. So whatever result we have would be the effect, and every effect has a cause. So we are going to discover what is the cause. We have to change the cause, and then the result change. So I hope that's making sense. Whenever you want to change something, even if it is tiny, even if you're trying to drink more water, that is a effect of a cause. And I'm going to teach you how to find that cause so you can keep creating change in your life anytime, anywhere, however you want it. Okay, so now let's get into anatomy of, you know, a habit that we have, or anatomy of an effect that we have that's already part of our life. And then you will be able to understand how to create a change. Okay, so anything that we already have part of our life, your health, your wealth, your relationships, it's not just like, oh, I have, like, really good health. There's a lot underneath the surface that has happened for you to have wonderful body, healthy, vital body. So one of them is psychological. So there's something in your psychology that's supporting that effect that you have. So for example, I'll just use myself an example. So right now, I do know if I go to the doctor today, they'll be like, I think you should lose 15 pounds, right? So in my psychology, there is something that supports having those 15 pounds. That's why I have them. So having the 15 pounds is the effect, and the cause is there's something in my psychology, and that's a belief. There is a belief within me, it's okay to have 15 extra pounds, and it is so true. That is my belief. That's why it hasn't shifted yet. For some people, they're like, it's okay to have 100 extra pounds, and they stay there. They try all kind of diets, but belief hasn't changed. Because if you're not doing the awareness work, if you're not doing the healing, or deep emotional inner healing work, you're not even aware that that's a belief that you have, and you're trying to create a change. Change is not happening because something in your psychology, a belief, says that it's okay to be this way. And we are going to stay out of judgment of all these things. We are just going to look at it from a very scientific perspective. Let's try to understand what's going on underneath the surface. So a solid belief is one thing, and the second thing is physiologically, like in our body, we have neurons in our mind that are like created because of that belief. They communicate with each other through that. So physically, whatever belief you have is ingrained in your mind. Like one of the coolest video I ever saw was when a person is going through a change of a belief, how they have new neurons, new neural pathways coming in place. And I saw a time-lapse video on that. It's so amazing that when we are creating a psychological change, we are literally creating a physiological, or if that's a word, a change in our body. Like in our mind, new cells are being formed, new neurons are being formed, new communication pathways are also forming, which is so cool if you think about it. We think, I just changed a habit. No, it got changed on so many levels. So many levels. So if right now you're sitting with an effect and you're trying to change it, it has a neural pathway in your brain that has not changed yet. And once we start shifting the belief, the neural pathway starts to change as well, based on once we start doing those actions. For example, let's say if I want to lose 15 pounds, if I want to release that, and the strategy I'm going to use is go to gym every single day. Let's say I have created the belief, I have worked on my belief, and now I'm going to start going to the gym. The first day I go, the second day I go, third day I go, new neural pathways start to form. And if I keep going, a complete new pathway will form, and that it will be so much easier for me to go to the gym, even if I'm on vacation. So people who are so dedicated that they go, they work out even while they are on vacation or when things get busy, they have those solid new neurons formed already. It's part of their physical body. That's why it becomes so much easier for them. Okay, the third aspect, actually there's fourth aspect. Fourth is can change. The third aspect is the energy body. So whatever is happening in our mind or in our psychology, in our physical body, also exists in our energy body. So let's say if I have a belief, if I have a very solid health belief, it exists in my energy body as well. And when we are playing with that, we can play with it in forms of feeling. So let's say I start to feel so excited about going to the gym. I'm like, yes, I'm going to go to the gym 5 a.m. I'm going to take the first class. I am so excited about it. I am shifting my energy body, because maybe in the past, it was like, oh my God, I have to go to the gym. That is the thing I have to do to lose weight. There's a lot of, negative emotions there. So then that's how my energy body was like, going towards the gym. I felt like I was dragging myself, using sheer will to get there. But now I can use a different feeling to shift the energy body to make it happen. So not sure if you can understand that very well, but I'll explain it more when we move further. Right now, we are just talking about the different parts that are responsible when we are trying to create a change, or when we are in a habit already. So the fourth one is environment. Now, environment depends on what you're trying to change. If you're just trying to change things inside of you, like, just emotions and whatnot, and you're working inside there, then the environment doesn't really impact you. But let's say if I want to, release again 15 pounds, and my fridge didn't change, and I do have fries and frozen fries and frozen chicken nuggets and ice cream in my freezer all the time. if that hasn't changed, and let's say all the people I hang out with, none of them work out. Like working out is not even part of their vocabulary. So that would have to change. Either I'll have to, limit my hangout time with them, or I would find more friends um, who are interested in the same thing as I am. So the environment will change then. But let's say if everything is fine, perfect, but I have problem with anxiety. Now, anxiety very much becomes a habit, and it uses all these different parts to stay part of our body, right? So if let's say now anxiety is the issue, everything is happening inside of my mind. Even if when I say there's a trigger, something I'm processing here that's creating a reaction out of that trigger. So then I won't have to really change my environment. I won't have to change the way my room look, unless it's very messy, and mess creates more anxiety for me. I won't have to change any friends, unless all my friends have anxiety, and hanging out with them is causing more anxiety. So you see the difference depending on what change you're trying to create. Environment may or may not be a factor in that case. Now let's talk about how our subconscious plays a role in all this. So the belief part, the psychology part where the belief has to shift, it's in our subconscious mind. We are not even aware that we don't have a solid belief about health when we are trying to go on this, health journey. We just, maybe I saw a Instagram video and I'm like, oh, I want my body to look like that. So if the inspiration is coming from outward, or maybe there could be a belief, if I only lost 15 pounds, I would look more beautiful. So that could be playing, but it's not coming from within me. It's not coming like, you know what, releasing that 15-pound is going to make my body so much healthier, happier, and I want to do it for me. So that change happens in our subconscious mind. So let's say if I sat down with myself and I did the deep digging, and I have done that work where I am interested in changing the way I treat my body, or what I put in my body, or how I move my body based on that new belief. Now the new belief has been created. Now, what does that mean? All the old ones have to go. The neural pathways have to change. The energy needs to shift. It's almost like, when you bring a new pet in your home, like all the other pets. Let's say if you do have multiple dogs. I mean, I experienced it with a dog and a cat, but let's say if you have multiple dogs and a new dog walks in, everybody's like, okay, who's gonna be the boss here? Like, what's gonna change? That's exactly how your mind and body and energy reacts to that. When we are trying to introduce a change, the change maybe got inspired inward, or maybe you saw somebody and you're like, okay, I'm gonna change myself. When you start going on to that new path, you can go like a week, you can go 2 weeks, and then the neural pathways, they're like, what we are changing? This is going to be permanent change. We thought we're going to have two roads to walk on. Now we just have to keep going on the new road. That's when the resistance shows up. And one of the cool name I have learned about that resistance is from my coach, called terror barrier. That's when your whole body goes on to high alert. Oh my God, things are changing. We need to do something, because for our subconscious mind, safety and familiar situations, familiar habit is more important than creating a healthier lifestyle. So safety comes first. When you try to change, you're going against your whole subconscious mind, your psychology, your physiology, and your energy. You're going against all of that. So everything goes like siren, 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 danger, there's a fire going on, but then there's no fire. So what end up happening? You end up stopping, because it just becomes so hard. It just becomes so hard to wake up in the morning and go to the gym. But you just did it for 2 weeks. But it's like, no, I can't do it. Something else has to change. Maybe I need to find a different way of doing it. That is where we quit. That is why it's so hard to change. And we all have quit. Every single one of us have quit something at some point. And this is how our subconscious mind got us to quit, because it just felt it's so hard. Like, I can't even go past this moment, because that's where the stretch was coming. A new habit or new lifestyle was beyond that stretch. Beyond that stretch, you would have, created those neural pathways that were permanent, because you would have used it over and over and over, and they would become permanent. And the old one can die. But if we don't create those permanent pathways, we keep the old ones and we go back to that habit. And we tell ourselves, you know what, I'll start it next Monday. That's when I'll do it. And then we feel sad, and we feel bad, and we feel like there's something wrong with me. So the energy body is getting impacted too. And next time when you attempt at it, your energy body is going to keep that memory. Remember, like, how miserable you were when you tried to do it? Because our energy body gets activated through feelings, and our subconscious mind is the feeling mind. When you have bad feelings, it get associated with don't go there again. So some people are not even going to attempt to go after it for, let's say, 5-10 years, till they start to have health issues, and now losing that weight becomes a life and death situation. And then it's like, okay, I have to do it. That is a whole new topic, a whole different thing. When things get so serious, when the urgency goes top of the roof, we can create any kind of change. You might know somebody who was told in the hospital bed, if you don't stop smoking, you're going to die very soon. And then all of a sudden, they just quit smoking. Like, nothing. They needed nothing. And they just quit smoking, and they never smoked again. But before that moment, they were like, oh, it's hard. That is how I relieve my stress. I don't think it's that harmful anyway. And, it's coming from plant. I do know some people who would say, tobacco is just a plant. It's plant medicine, all kind of stuff we can come up with to keep our unhealthy habits. So do you see how, if there's, of course, not that kind of urgency, or if there is that kind of urgency, we can just create the change like this. But if that urgency is not there, how we are going to get dragged into creating a change. Now, the effect that we are trying to change, the result that we are trying to change, the cause for it is in our psychology. It's the shift of the belief. If the belief does not shift, we don't take new actions. If we don't take new actions, new neural pathways are not going to be created, and the feelings and the environment, none of that happen if the belief doesn't change. So it's very, very, very important for us. If you want to create a change and you're so serious about creating that change, work on the belief first. And I'll share with you how you can do that. Once I share the steps that we are going to take to create a long-lasting change. So up till now, we have learned the reason it's so hard to create a change, because there's many pieces involved. And when we start to stretch, the part of us that want us to keep safe, trips the fire alarm. And when everything starts to become so loud and noisy within us, and it becomes so hard, we stop. Because we don't even know, why I'm feeling that way. Like, if you have tried being a vegan for like 2 weeks, at the end, you most likely said, it's not for me. But is that really true? Or your subconscious mind just tricked you because you were just trying to create a change in your life and you have not changed your belief yet? So let's say, if you want to really create a change, you're like, I'm 100% sure this is what I want. First, you have to ask yourself, what do I believe about the current results? So again, I'm going to use my example, 15 pounds. What do I believe about the 15 pounds right now? My belief is that it's okay to have that. I love it. I have nothing against it. So I need to change that belief. If that belief does not change, nothing is changing. I can, sign up for the best gym. I'm not going because going there is going to feel so hard. And we all run away from hard things. But there's something that, I'll use a different example where I have created a change, and that is how I interact with myself. Back in the day, it wasn't very healthy. And it became so healthy to treat myself. The reason it became so healthy, because the more I connected with myself, I started realizing I am the most important person in my life. That is a belief shift. Back in the day, I did not think I am the most important person in my life. I thought it was somebody else, most important person in my life. That was like, my past lover, you can say, my ex-husband. I thought he was the most important person in my life. So I didn't treat myself well. But at some point, the shift happened where I became the most important person in my life. At this point, treating myself well is so easy. And anything that I can do to support that relation with myself, no matter how much amount of money needs to be invested to get high level coaching and support, I'm going to keep doing it. It comes so easy to me. I don't even think about, like, if it's 20,000, 50,000, or like, 100,000. I don't even think about that because the belief has shifted. But I'm not getting the same results in terms of the weight loss because I don't, like, my current belief is it's okay. I don't have to. I love it. I love the way my body feels. So do you see the difference? When the belief has shifted, it becomes so much easier. And if the belief stays the same, it stays hard. So now the way we dig deeper into belief, so just keep the result on the top. For me, it could be like, 15 pounds that I am not willing to lose yet. What has to be the belief for this result to show up in my life? So I'll use another example. Let's say you're struggling with finances right now. Maybe you're out of work. Maybe your business is not going well. Maybe you always just have enough, but never more than enough. So, right, like, lack of abundance. What has to be the belief to create that result? And, just write the first thing that comes to your mind. The first thing that comes to my mind, one must believe in lack to have a result of lack. That means you don't even believe in abundance yet, or you don't believe that I can have abundance. Maybe other people can have it, but I cannot. So once you write all those beliefs down, or whatever comes to your mind, you'll be able to see the picture of what's sitting in your unconscious mind. And if you ever need help in that, and you just want to have a conversation, just reach out to me anytime. You can send me a message on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just, find me on social media, Alia, the Love Coach, and we can have a conversation and I can help you understand those unconscious beliefs that are sitting there that are causing those results in your life. Because it's so important to figure out what those beliefs are. So let's say, sat with yourself, you wrote down everything come in, and then, you're like, oh my God, I don't believe in abundance. So then you start telling yourself, I live in an abundant universe. The more you say it, the more you say it with your will, you're reprogramming, rewiring your subconscious mind with the new belief by repetition. So there's two ways to create a change in our subconscious mind. One is constant space repetition, which is you saying same thing over and over and over and over for a long period of time till your subconscious believes it's true, because your subconscious does not know what is present, past, future, what is real, what's imagination. So you can reprogram it by repeating something over and over and over. And the second way of reprogramming your subconscious mind is sudden emotional impact. That's what happens when a person on a hospital bed is told, you're gonna die if you don't quit smoking. That's sudden emotional impact. It changes like this. You don't have to even do repetition over and over and over. So change the belief first. With the change of the belief, naturally would come the actions. The action is going to create a new neural pathway. But as you are going through that, remember, the old neural pathways never disappear 100%. If given the right circumstances, you're going to fall back. Now, I'll give you an example. Let's say somehow I got into the routine, I changed my belief, and now I'm going to the gym or whatever my way of losing those 15-pound is. And then one day something happened and I'm feeling so sad. And my habit from the past was when I'm sad, I eat ice cream. There's a very specific flavor of ice cream. I'm going to go right back. And then what usually happens, we beat ourselves up. Oh my God, I just ruined my whole diet. I ruined my whole routine. And I just went back. Understand those neural pathways don't disappear, even though they get lighter. And yes, if you look under the microscope, they do disappear. They come back if given the right circumstances very easily. So what are we learning from this understanding? If you fall short, don't beat yourself up. Get up, start all over again. Don't even entertain the idea that I am stupid, what's wrong with me, why I can't do something right. Don't even entertain that idea. Understand you're working with things in your physical body. Your body has its own wisdom. And sometimes you can't really go against it. We need to work with it. So understand the old pathways are still there, waiting for you. And maybe one day you'll wake up and you'll realize how unsafe it is to create the change. So when you feel sad, you go back to eating ice cream, and there we are. Next day, wake up, just brush it off and run with it. Run with the new habit that you're creating. Just forget about yesterday. Just forget about it. Let it go. Forgive yourself for eating that ice cream. I treat myself in such a loving, gentle way. I'll eat ice cream anyway and not feel guilty. And the next day I'll be like, oh, do I need a day off? I'll take a day off and then I'll start from the following day. But that's just me. That's how I have created a relationship with myself. Okay, so the next one would be energy, your energy body that gets stimulated by the feelings and the emotions we have. Now, it's very important to understand at this point, your subconscious mind is the feeling mind. You want it to get on board with you. You need to use the right feeling for it to get on board with you. If you're feeling excited, if you're feeling happy, it's very easy to create the change because your subconscious is activating by the feeling, and it's also thinking, okay, I am ready for it. You can also activate it by feeling sad and whatnot. Any feeling would, bring it to take part in whatever you're doing. But when you use high emotions, our body natural way of being is in high emotions. Low emotions, like, so for example, me back in the day, I used to feel sad and lonely and miserable all the time. That was learned behavior. My body wanted to come to the center and feel joyful and excited. So when you introduce that feeling, your whole body's like, I'm feeling so good, I'll do whatever you say. That's exactly how the change becomes easier. So let's say you have worked on the belief. Now you have the new belief. Now attach a feeling to it. How does it make you feel? Having that belief, maybe realizing that belief in your life, how does it make you feel? The more you attach the feeling with it, the easier it's going to be to create that change. It would be easier to take those actions. And one of the quickest way you can do it, create a vision. Close your eyes and go into that vision. You'll be reprogramming your subconscious mind. You'll be reprogramming the feeling associated with it, creating the new neurons, and also using your God-given faculty of creating something out of nothing. So let's say for me, when I do convince myself to let go of those 15 pounds, I'll create a vision where, maybe I'm wearing my favorite dress, maybe the way I am running feels light and not heavy, or maybe my body is feeling very flexible, and I'll feel how it feels. It feels maybe relaxing, joyful, peaceful. And I'll just go into that vision for like 30 seconds every day, maybe multiple times a day. Maybe right before going to the gym, I'll do that. Maybe right before leaving the house, I'll do that. So I know this is what I'm creating. And I am including all the parts of me to create that change. Now, the same thing apply when you're trying to create a tiny amount of change. It could be as small as going to bed early, waking up early, drinking more water. Those are all the changes that act or that have the similar parts to them. If someone is not drinking enough water, um, that means they don't even believe that they're supposed to drink more water. Consciously, they know it's good for them, but they don't really believe it. Because if we'll believe it, it'll be easy for us to drink more water. I'm just gonna check on my notes. Okay, so one thing I wanted to highlight, just remember, possibility of going back always exists. And the more you stay on the new path beyond when your body's alarm system say everything is going wrong, when we go beyond that, the neural pathways become more and more solid. And the more solid they become, the new neural pathway, the more solid it becomes easier. Like one of the things that is so easy for me to do is daily meditation. I just don't understand how I ever lived without doing daily meditation. I don't understand how other people live without doing daily meditation. I can I can skip it only for 2 days. Like if it's been more than 2 days, my body just start to feel so bad that I'll leave everything and meditate. I meditate when I'm on vacation. I meditate when it's holidays. I meditate all the time. Like there's no skipping it, because it has been etched in my nervous system so well that there's no going back on it. I started, I believe, 2019. That's when I started this regular habit of regular meditation. In the beginning, it was hard. I did start a support group. I was the only one who, went through it because I really wanted it. Other people just dropped at like third day or the fourth day or the fifth day. At the end of 30 days, it was just me doing it. So possibility of going back always exists. If you do go back, don't beat yourself up, get up, just keep going. And the second thing is, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And now let's just look at the reason it is so hard to create a change, because it requires more than just will. It requires more than, you know what, I'm going to do this thing. You need to understand the belief, how it's part of your physical body in terms of new neural pathways, how your energy body needs to shift as well based on the emotions that you're feeling, and maybe your environment needs to change too. And when you want to create a change, first start with the belief, and then the belief naturally would bring the action, and then associate the feeling, see if anything has to change in your environment. At the end, come up with a vision, connect with that vision at least once a day, only for 30 seconds. If you can do it more than once a day, even better. The more you go into that vision and feel that the change has already become part of your life, the easier it's going to get it for you. So that is all that I have to say regarding why it is so hard to create change and how to create change as well. If you have any question, please reach out to me. We are going to go into Q&A on the Zoom. Anybody watching on Facebook, hop on here. And anyone watching it on YouTube, if you got it through my newsletter, just respond to that with any question. And if you're just one of my subscribers, thank you for that. Find me on Facebook, or you can find me on Instagram and just send me a message. I would love to have a conversation with you and help you understand how you can create change in your own life. If you have any personal questions, we can go into that. So I'm going to stop the recording.